Hey, good evening. It's Friday, October 1st. Again, thank you for being here tonight. I'm just doing one video today and tomorrow trying to rest my voice. A little bit of seasonal allergies, so you can tell it needs a little bit of rest. But I still want to keep going with our series on videos on communication. So far we have looked at the heart of humility as we begin to think about communicating. Do I really consider someone else of greater value than I am? Then we looked at the attitude of love. And we looked at those last night. Do we have those qualities? Are we patient? Do we keep a record of wrongs? Are we upset about the things that we hear? Are we judgmental? And then tonight, I want to start talking about listening. Because before we can talk, we have to listen. But we have to listen in a way that's that is helpful to us. And there's a huge connection. This is the point I want to make tonight. We're going to talk a couple of videos about listening. A huge connection between anger and listening. James warns us about that. He says, be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. For man's anger does not produce the righteous life that God desires. Notice how he starts. Be quick to listen. Don't become angry. But if you think about it for a minute, why do you get angry when you hear something? Somebody said something, it just sends you over the edge. How could they do that? How could they say that to me? And we're listening and we become angry as we listen. That is not going to produce communication that is building and helpful. We need to be patient listeners, not angry listeners. If we walk around being angry at God or being angry with other people or just waiting for the next bad thing to happen, then as soon as someone starts talking, we immediately jump to the worst possible conclusion, put a negative spin on it, and become angry. Nothing good happens. That's what James is saying. This anger will not produce the righteous life that God desires. Thankfully, the Old Testament wisdom literature goes along with the New Testament wisdom literature and tells us this in chapter 18 of Proverbs. He who answers before listening, that's his folly and his shame. In other words, it's a disgraceful thing to listen to someone and already form the answer in your mind, not even give them the chance to speak. But you know what they're saying, you're sure that's what they're saying, you're already angry because you know they're going to say something that's going to offend you, and you react in anger, or you react in hurt. See, that kind of listening doesn't honor God, it doesn't build relationships, and it's going to cause your communication to be a vehicle to blow up your relationships. Rather, God is saying, wait a minute, exercise humility. Exercise love. Be patient. Always trust, always believe. God has something for you to learn from someone who's talking to you. Even if you think it might be negative, God has something for you to learn so you can take that negative and turn it into a positive. But if you start off being angry, or you start off anticipating anger, your listening is going to fuel your anger and your upset. I knew that's what they were doing. I knew that's what's going on. I knew they were going to say that. So instead of being patient, instead of being kind, instead of being gracious, we jump to that angry conclusion. And then James's words ring true. Our anger will not produce the righteous life that God desires. There is a tight connection between how you listen and how angry you are. And if you start out being angry, then whatever you hear is going to be joined together with anger, and the communication will not go well. Rather, God has called us to be gracious, to think the best, to always trust, to always believe, to be patient. Don't be easily angered. Rather, how can I serve God? How can what I'm hearing that's coming to me, how can I use that to bring honor to God and bless this person? If your listening does that, then your listening will be a blessing and will ease some of the anger that's inside of you. And those are great things to think about. We'll have more to say as we go on about listening. One more tomorrow, and we'll see, because it's so important for us. Tonight, think about those beautiful words that James tells us. Be quick to listen. Be slow to speak. Be slow to become angry, because your anger will not produce the righteous life that God desires. And that's the thought for this night. Thanks so much for being here tonight. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing that. Turn on post notifications. These videos will come right to you. Check out the resources, everydaytalk247.com. Thank you so much for supporting us. And again, I appreciate your prayers that my voice will get through the weekend, and by Monday I'll be ready to go. But Lord willing, I'll be back in the morning. You have a great evening. Trust God. Again, thank you for being here. Don't listen for anger. Listen to give hope. Have a great night. Bye-bye. This is the point I want to make tonight. We're going to talk a couple of videos about listening. A huge connection between anger and listening. Nothing good happens. That's what James is saying. This anger will not produce the righteous life that God desires. Thankfully, the Old Testament wisdom literature. That's how he starts. Be quick to listen. Don't become angry. But if you think about it for a minute, why do you get angry when you hear something? Somebody said something, it just sends you over the edge.